Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing a quick unboxing of this fantastic find. I didn't even know about this until Colin from the One Stop Co-op Shop talked to me about it. I knew there was a Star Trek Attack Wing type game, but I did not know about the Alliance game, which is a cooperative miniatures game. So we have not only been unboxing this box, we're also going to be unboxing the second box as well. So we have both waves of this game that we're going to be unboxing, and there's a third wave coming in August. What this is this is a campaign version in a cooperative format of Star Trek during Deep Space Nine's Dominion War campaign. So if you haven't seen Deep Space Nine, it happens in there. It's one of the coolest things that happens in Star Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I feel so bad I didn't even know about this. I've seen every episode of every Star Trek show ever made, including even some of the animated stuff that's out there. So Star Trek is huge in my life. I'm a huge fan of it, and I'm a huge fan of unboxing these super cool things. Now, sadly, all the people I know around here are more into Star Wars, so we played a lot of X-Wing back in the day, and this is a similar type game, but in this one we're going to be playing cooperatively, and we're going to be fighting against some of the Dominion people, and on top of that, it's got a multi-campaign scenarios that you're going to be going through, and I'm really excited to see how the AI works for this game based on how you're able to play, because normally this is a competitive game where you're fighting ships against ships in a starfield. Let's unbox this, let's see what it's all about. If you're excited to see Star Trek Alliance, the Dominion War, the original campaign, and campaign box part 2, then I need you to meet me at the table. Let's take a look and see what's in the base game. Now, in order to play the campaign part 2, and I believe even the campaign part 3, you do technically need the original box. It has a lot of the dice and things. You're going to need it. Unless, I think if you have some of the actual Attack Wing stuff, you could probably go ahead and get the second box without having bought the first box. But don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure on that. Because Attack Wing has been around for a while, and I believe the ships for Attack Wing are compatible with this, but from what I understand, you have to use some of the generic ships, I don't think you're allowed to use too many of the name ships. So it looks like we have some of our combat dials and punch boards. We have our different cards, and we have our stands and our dice. So we're going to go through all of this. So let's take all of this out and we'll see what this is all about. And I wonder, I think the instructions, everything. Yes, here's some of the other stuff we need. I was going to say there had to be an instruction book, and there has to be a range rule on here and everything. And we have our dial. Oh, this is going to be super cool. I can hardly wait. All right. And then we're going to look at these ships. So let's go save that for the end because that's going to be really super cool. We'll start with our cardboard pieces that we have. The first thing you're seeing here, these are just going to be obstacles out here, different asteroids or things of that nature. I believe they're double-sided, so it does have like some ships and arrays of some kind, and then they have some mission objectives as well. On top of that, we have the tops of the movement dial for R2 Federation ships, which is what we play in the campaign. We're going to be playing the Federation against the Dominion, and it has our Akira ship, and we also has our Excelsior class as well, which are located right here and here respectively. Here's the Excelsior class, and here is the Akira class, which, you know, I just want to look at these. These are absolutely awesome. These are so cool, and they're even kind of metallic. I don't even have to paint them. This is fantastic. I'm excited to show you how they all like end up on the stands and everything. It's gonna be really cool when it's all out there. For those of you that have played X-Wing or Attack Wing, you're gonna know how this all transpires in the end. These are a little tough getting out of here, but here is the Akira. Oh, look at this thing. This thing looks really cool. Oh my gosh, it's even detailed on the bottom. That's super neat. Then we have our Jem'Hadar ship right here. These are gonna be their attack ships here that are gonna be coming after us. Now, of course, this box only comes with this one type of ship, but when we start adding in the second box, you have more ships you're gonna be fighting against, which is pretty sweet. All right, that's the top of it. Then we have, these are going to signify which ones are which. Those will go onto your stands, and you can put them either next to your cards or on the other stands or things of that nature, so you can figure out which ship is with what, is doing what, and what powers it has and things of that nature. Then it has our base things for the base of the ship that you're going to put down. It also shows all the different actions that a ship can take on its turn, and these are our R2 Federation ones. Also, it shows our firing arcs. This one fires at a 180 degree, where this one's only a 90 degree pattern here. It also has a backfiring arc, with you can see with the little dotted lines here. So it looks like the Federation ship for the Constellation class has quite a larger thing than that. Here's a shuttlecraft, and I guess that must be for a mission of some kind. Then we have our different tokens we can use. Now, I might get some of these wrong because I used to play a lot of X-Wing. I never really played Attack Wing, but I think you have evade tokens here. I don't know if they're really called evade tokens in this game. I think they're called something else. And we have these sensor icons as well. That can help us. These are going to be for like being able to take like evasive maneuvers. And what these will do is they can cancel attacks that are against us. These, I believe, are cloaking ship tokens here. And cloaking's really cool. I really wish I had a Klingon ship because I would love to cloak it. That'd be absolutely awesome. I'm a huge fan of being able to cloak and surprise, there you are. The other ones we see are going to be tokens that allow you to scan, which is similar. I think it's to a focus token or something. I think it just, I think, removes the amount of defense dice that or attack dice that the enemy can use. Again, I'm not 100% on that. I apologize. Now, these are going to be the way you fly your ships. This is one of the coolest things about Attack Wing and the game itself, is the way that these things fly. So you're going to have a maneuver dial that has different ways of being able to maneuver the ship, and then you're going to put your ship here, put this down, and then move the ship to there. So that's how it moves around the board. There isn't a grid, there's nothing. It's just a flat surface that you can fly around on. It's really cool. Some more mission tokens there. And then up here, I think these are our critical damage tokens here that signify that we've taken some kind of critical damage. Now, of course, they are double-sided, so the cloaking tokens can go on and off based on that. These don't change because they're the same token on both sides. The next thing we have are some more range rules for how we're able to fly our ships. And as you can see, some of the ones will even, not only can you put your ship here, but then you turn it 180 degrees and flip it back so you can kind of do a flip in midair. On the back side here, it looks like we have disabled tokens and a countdown tokens of some kind. We'll continue on here. We have the tops of the dials here for our ships. I think the other one, oh yeah, let's show this. I didn't show this. This is the back of it. Okay, so this is the top. Oh, here, I bet it's on the bottom. Yeah, here we go. Oofta, here it is. It took me a while. Here is what all the different maneuvers of these certain ships can do. And each one flies a little bit differently, which is super cool. Another thing that's really neat about this one. So, for example, this one can go 1, 1, and 1. These are going to be green maneuvers. The red maneuvers are harder to do, and it causes like strain or stress or something to the ships. The white ones are like a normal maneuver that you could do. So, for example, this one can do all these neat 2 moves where this one can't. The harder 2 move, the 2 move up here that's is going to be hard. The hard turn to the right and left is red, so it's a harder thing for this thing to do. And it has some 3s and 4s that are about the same on both ships. And the 2, it can actually go backwards 2 squares, where this one is going to flip totally around, which is kind of neat. Then you have these, I think, are called like battle station tokens, and these are going to allow you to turn any of the dice that have this symbol on them into hits, which is kind of neat. And then again, we have tokens up here that I think have to do with potential damage, or maybe for a scenario of some kind. Then we have target locks. Of course, if you have a target lock on a person and you're rolling your dice, you're able to re-roll dice by removing the target lock. These are our shields, and the shields can either be on or disabled, which is kind of neat. And then, of course, we have disabled tokens, which you're going to place on certain cards or certain abilities that they have to show that you've used it. And I think that's all that is for all the cardboard. Yes, that's it. That's all the cardboard stuff. So we have all this neat stuff that we have to punch out and get ready to play with. So let's move that aside and let's look at some of the other components. The other one I want to show you is this. This is the AI card for the game, which is super cool on how this all works. These are the Jem'Hadar attack ships. Now, in the way this game is normally played, your opponent, you are going to be choosing what maneuvers you want to do on your dials and play them face down so that nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. Then you're going to reveal these in order of pilot skill, going from the lowest to the highest, and then maneuvering the ships in that fashion. Now, of course, since we're playing against an AI, it'd be kind of hard because you can't just lay down the dial because you'll know what's going on. So in this way, the way they do it is based on where this ship is positioned and where your ship is positioned. It's going to roll a die and do one of the maneuvers that's most of the time beneficial to what you would normally try to do to try to get into somebody's range and try to fire. Now, does it always work out perfectly? No. And when you're playing against people, does it always work out perfectly? No. Sometimes you got a guy flying off in the middle of nowhere because you thought they were going to go one way and you zigged and they zagged and things like that. Up here, it shows you all the different values of the ship. It has its attack, its defense, or its evasion, I should say. It also has its hull, and it also has its shields. And of course, when you lose shields, then you attack hull, and sometimes the shields can regenerate, but once it loses all its hull, the ship is destroyed. And it has a lot of way it's going to maneuver and how it's going to choose different actions. It has like a whole set of guides here on how you should perform this ship's maneuvering, which is really neat. Now, of course, as we continue forward in the campaign, I'm sure that the other ships will have other types of things that it's going to do, but this game only comes with these Jem'Hadar attack ships right here. A couple of our bigger pieces of cardboard is we have a moon and a planet type thing. I'm sure this goes out on the board. And of course, if you fly into these things, bad things happen to you. Then we have these two things right here. I don't think anything flies at a 6 that we have, but something might. This is your range rule to see how far away you are from something and whether or not you can hit it. And of course, if you're at 3 range away, you're going to lose 1 die. Or if you're closer, then you're going to gain an attack die. So, or I shouldn't say it. When you're farther away, the opponent gets to roll more defense dice, where if you're closer to them, you get to roll more attack dice. That's how that works. And of course, it's vice versa if the attacker is attacking you. So that's how that works. Next, we have custom dice. And if this is anything like the Star Wars X-Wing game, and I apologize, I keep referencing that one, that I have a lot of knowledge of that one. You would normally get these, but since it is a cooperative game, we gained these dice. And this one, I believe, is going to be the one that's going to help us decide what our ships are going to do. That's how you're going to roll this to see what these guys are going to do. And this one, I believe, is going to count down is going to be like a turn marker, or it might have other things in the game as well. The next thing we have is all of our cards that are going to go with this game. We'll start with the bottom card here. Now, I don't believe any of this is going to be too much of a spoiler because I don't think any of the campaign is in here. The campaign is all in a separate book that I'll show soon. This is going to be our Jem'Hadar attack ship. As you can see, it has no abilities and it has no loadout or anything. They're just going to be flying just like this. Now, as the game progresses and you go through the campaign, maybe it'll add things to this based on some of the cards in this deck or maybe something else. And on the back side, though, is the, I guess you could say the superior version of this. Where this one doesn't have anything down here. This one has a little symbol here, which is more of a command, I think, symbol. And this one is also going to tell them to not only have the printed shield value, but it's also going to be the printed shield value +3. And look, it has a different captain skill, which means it would maybe be going before our ships when it comes to flying and shooting, which could be pretty bad. So these are all of the different cards for those. Then we have our ships right here. Here's the Akira class. And again, it shows you exactly how this thing flies. I didn't know it'd have that on there, so it's kind of cool it does. I didn't have to show you the dial. I could have just showed you this, which is kind of neat. Then here's our Federation Star ship for the Akira class, and it shows you all the different things it can do. Here's its attack, its evasion. It has its 5 hull and 2 shields. Then it shows you down here, these symbols here, these I believe are going to be some of the cards we can attach to it based on how many points we put towards the ship or how many experience points we have. Now, normally when you play the game, you get a certain amount of base points, and then you're able to buy ships for a certain price, and then you're able to add upgrades to them based on what the price of those upgrades are. This right here is its bar. It's what it's able to do. So when it flies around, after it flies, it's able to perform an action, and these could be one of the actions you can perform. You can choose any of these you want. So that's the Akira class, and I believe the other one's going to be the Constellation class, or the Excelsior class, sorry. And notice it has a backup maneuver. It doesn't have that flip turn like this other one does. Then we flip it over here, and this one now, if you notice, has a little bit more of the action bars, a few other ones. And if we look at the stats, let me just compare the stats here. I already forgot what that one is. So this one's a 3-1-5-3. So this is a 4-2-5-2. So this is more evasive, but this has more shields by 1. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. I've never played the game, so I don't know how much of a difference that is. But on this right here also shows you how much of the value the ship would normally be. This is cool. This, you're able to name your captain for this game, and you're going to be getting experience points, and you're going to be going up these charts here. And as you pass certain milestones, you're going to gain certain abilities towards your ship. And like, for example, once you get past here, you're going to be able to add an extra one of these icons to the bottom of the ship that you can then use for upgrade cards as you play through the game. And you can also add different things here that are going to allow you to give different points towards those particular cards as well. And there should be 2 because of 2 different ships. And these are the different upgrades you can add. For example, if I wanted to have this, I'd have to have 2, and I believe they call them experience points when you play through this actual campaign. I'll need 2 experience points in order to be able to have this person on my ship, which is pretty sweet. End phase I can spend one of these tokens beside my ship to repair 1 shield. That's not a bad idea. And there's another one here as a tactical officer. We've got a helmsman. We've got, oh man, we have probably a whole bunch of different people. A science officer. We've got commander. We got Commander Riker. I believe it's just a general commander. We got calculating. Oh, Cisco's standing there calculating. That's fantastic. I think Odo's in the background there. We have evasive pattern Delta, which is pretty sweet. So of course you can add these, but you have to have this icon on your ship in order to add these, and then you have to have the experience points in order to do that as well. Inspiring. We have a battle hardened. There's our good friend from Deep Space Nine. Let's see what else we have. We have a wing leader. I'm going to guess a lot of this is from Deep Space Nine, considering it's the Dominion War. Let's see here. Detection grid, reinforced shielding. We've got the EMH. That's pretty awesome. What's here? Improved hull plating. So that's going to, you can convert one of these critical hits into just a normal hit, I believe is how that works. Subspace fields. These are all going to be different upgrades, and even upgrades for weapons as well. And of course, this means you can only fire it within 2 and 3. So if you had a 1, this wouldn't even be able to fire off. But you got photon torpedoes, dorsal phaser array. Attack targets the opposing ship. The ship may fire this in any direction. All right, that's pretty awesome. I can fire this particular one in any direction I want. That's pretty cool. Overcharged phasers, full spread. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty awesome. And then we have what? Enhanced targeting. I'm going through every one of these. I apologize. I'm just super cool. I'm wanting to see the art and stuff that they chose. I really like the fact that they've kind of used some from the art from the shows. I think that's really neat how they incorporate that. Looks really awesome. All right, we're going to put these aside and look at our next deck, which I believe is just a damage deck. And this is just all the same on the back, and on the front, on the front side of these, I should say, is just different things. So if you get hit with a critical hit and it's not against your shields, against your hull, you're going to have to suffer one of these critical hits, I believe is how it works. So for example, you have an injured captain. The ship cannot use text of the captain or any of the captain upgrades, or I don't think it's a captain symbol, but those type of upgrades. You could have something like a munitions failure. I have to choose one of those type of upgrades equipped to the ship and discard it, then flip this card face down. And of course, once it's flipped down, it's not going to activate again. So that's the damage deck. So as you get hit with criticals, you're going to have to deal with these type of problems on your ship. So last thing I'm going to show you out of this box is kind of how this all works. So we're going to get one of these. We're going to take our Federation starship here. Of course, I picked the one I had forever trying to get out of this thing. And it's going to go onto these little bases just like this. And once it's on there, it's able to start flying around the board. We'll put it in there. There we go. So you got them in there, and look at how cool this is. It has such a good table presence. And then, like I said, you're going to be able to use those different maneuver templates. And you'd place it right into the side here of where this is. And you hold down this, you pick up the ship, and you just move it to the next place, and it goes right over there just like that. And it flies around the board. It looks super fun. It's super fun, and this looks super cool. I can hardly wait to get it. Now I got to get these things to stay on here. There we go. They go in there just like that. All right, so I'll put that aside. Now I got another box of awesomeness to show you, but before we do, there's a couple more things I want to show you from this box. I'm not going to show it to you, but we do have the campaign for the Dominion War. I believe it's 7 scenarios out of this. And I'm just going to show you the first page because we are going to play through the first mission in this. I'm planning to do that. And then Colin from the One Stop Co-op Shop wants to play this live with me, but I think we're going to wait till we get the third box, which I think is in August. Then we're going to dig into this game and really have a fun time doing it. So I think, yes, Act 1, it shows you how you're going to set up your board, where different ships are going to be able to come in. And then during each sets of the turn, it's going to show you kind of what is going to come in. It has a story that goes along with it. And I believe as it progresses through here, it tries to, I believe, symbolize, or not symbolize necessarily, but it tries to encapsulate some of the show things that happens in the show as well. So I'm really excited. I want to almost go back and watch Deep Space Nine now because it's going to be super cool. So it's really cool that they have this neat little system here. Let's put this box aside and move on to the next one. Here's the second part of the Dominion War. So it looks like now I get to get my Klingon ships, and it looks like we have some Dominion ships as well, which is pretty awesome. Or sorry, Cardassian ships as well. We have, of course, our cardboard. We're going to have new templates for our ships, more cards, more everything, more stuff. Now, of course, if you noticed, it didn't come with those red and green dice. Like I said, I think you need the base game at least in order to play it, or at least you have to have something from Attack Wing itself. And then the bottom, I'm sure, is going to be our campaign book, which is going to be sweetness. And then we got gel here that you should never feed your kids or pets. First thing it does come with is the rule book. I believe it's going to be exactly the same as the one from the original box. I'm sure they didn't add too much has changed. They may have added more keywords or more actions as things have developed and gone farther in the game, but I don't know. I haven't read the rules, so it comes with an actual rule book. So if you lost the one from the original one, you've got that one. It does come with the second part of the Dominion War campaign box. I'm not going to open this at all. Just know that there's, I believe, about 7 scenarios again in this campaign book. There is, I guess, I don't know. I'm guessing there's 7 because there's, I think, about 7 in the first one. I could be wrong. This could be a bigger campaign or a shorter campaign. And I don't want to open it up and find out. I don't want to get anything to get spoiled. It does come with a couple more dice that we might need because we're probably going to be fighting against even more ships now. Again, it comes with those different pegs you can put your ships on. And these are going to be used to help with making our maneuver dials when it comes to the cardboard components. And we have those ship things that you can place little tokens on in there. And let's look at the cardboard and see what we've got. The first thing we have is more shields and component or naming components and insignia components. They're almost the same on the same side. Of course, these mean disabled versus active, and there's two different colors here for those factions. Next, we have even more faction things, and it also has the parts for the different ships. Now, interestingly enough, I think what they did, I could be wrong, is they have this all set up for Star Trek Alliance, but if you wanted to use these in the actual game of Star Trek Attack Wing, I don't think you could use this because it shows all the different arcs you could have and it gives you a tactical advantage. Normally, you're not able to pre-measure when you fight. Now, in Star Trek Alliance, you do have to, I believe, pre-measure, but for the AI to find out exactly how it's going to maneuver. So it has to have all these neat things. But on the back, I believe it has what would normally you would have for if you were to take these and fly them into the Attack Wing game. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's what it has. And it's confident it has its stats here as well. So it has that going for it. This shows you its actions. This would be the same, but it doesn't show all those different lines moving out. I hope that makes sense. And I think that's what they did here. I think these are going to be for the actual campaign. These are the ships that you see in here. So, of course, we have the Dominion starships, and we have the Dominion starship right here. This thing is going to be awesome. This thing is going to be amazing. Look how big this ship is. That is really cool. And it's going to be pretty beefy, too, I bet. And then we have our Klingon starships, which are going to be sweet. They're going to be right down there. Then we have our dials for them as well. We have the Jem'Hadar battle cruisers, and we have the Corvette class, and we have the Vorcha class. I can't say Klingon words very well. Then we have our Cardassian ships as well. And we have, looks like about 4 dials for these. So, I bet one of these, some of these might be for the actual Attack Wing game. Oh, no, this is the bottom of the dial. I got it. Okay. So these are, look at him go 5 speed. That's pretty sweet. I'm sure the Klingon have a lot of maneuverability up close, but not very fast, I bet. Yep, I think that's what we're seeing here. These are the 2 ones for the Klingons. Oh, I can go 4. That's not too bad. All right, yep, not bad at all. And we'll look at their ship thing in just a second. And, of course, we have mission tokens as well. And the last one we have is some parts for the top of the dial, and we have some more debris and things of that nature. And it looks like stars, and then we have the other last of our tokens here. They're pretty much the same as what we saw in the other game. Looking at our AI cards, I believe this is going to be very similar. I haven't looked completely 100% at it, but I'm sure it's very similar to the other Attack Wing. It might be a little bit of a change to it because we didn't get any of those in here, but we had some from the past, so maybe this has changed up a little bit to make it a different type of attack ship when we're fighting against it. There's nothing on the back. Then we do have our battle cruiser, which is going to have a 5 attack, 1 defense, was that 6 hull and 4 shields, so way beefier ship. That's pretty awesome. And then, like I said, based on where this ship is in conjunction to one of our ships is how it's going to maneuver in theory. We'll see how it all plays out. Then we have the Cardassian ship as well with 4 hull, 3 shields, and 1 defense, and looks like 4 attacks, so not as beefy, but who knows, more of these are probably better. They might have special abilities too. Identify target based on mission objectives, target range detection. All right, so, and I'm sure maybe, and then of course the actions are down here that it will potentially take. Super pumped for this. Let's see what else we have. Let's look at all the neat cards we get. First, we have our cards that go with the ships that are in the box here. And the same thing, I'm sure, on the back side is going to be one that's more powerful of level 4 here. This one says when attacking, if the defending ship is at range 2, roll 1 plus attack die. So it's a different type of attack ship. So that is pretty cool. They are going to change it up a little bit. I wonder if this one's different too. Are they all... Oh, yeah, they all are different. I wonder if you're going to mix them up and figure out which one you're attacking. That's kind of cool. Then we have our Cardassian, which has a captain skill of 2 normally, and its elite is going to have a captain skill of 5. So, interestingly enough, that's probably going to go way before any of our kind of stuff does. Then we're going to have, there's got to be, there it is, the Jem'Hadar battle cruiser. Starts with a captain skill of 5. This has got to be huge then. 7. Oh, my gosh. That's out of control. All right, then, of course, we have stuff for our Klingon captains we can make, which would be pretty sweet. And then here are the ships. We've got our Klingon ship. Now, if you notice, these are generic type ships. And from what I understand, you could bring in other ships from the Attack Wing, but they have to be the generic version of them because you're going to gain all your abilities and upgrades from actually leveling up going through the campaign from how I understand it. Now, I'm not sure. I believe you can carry over your captain into this one. I could be wrong about that. Do not quote me on that. But or you might just have to start over. We'll see how it goes here. But we have our Klingon ships. These are how it's going to maneuver. We have our other one, the Corvette class, which is pretty sweet. Now, these have a little bit different because, of course, they can cloak and things. One of these is a sensor echo. From how I understand that, that's part of how you use your cloaking device, which is going to be pretty sweet. So they have those on there. This is their maneuver dial. Then we have the Dominion Starship, which shows you everything here. Now, I believe this is the kind of one you could play in the actual attack wing game if you wanted to. That's why we have these Dominion Starships and stuff in here, I believe is how it works. All right, move those aside. Then we have our captains. The Klingon captain. We've got another Klingon. We got, Vorta. We got Vorta in here. We got Cardassians. Oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. Then we have, coordinator to Assault. These are all going to do different things. Of course, we do have to buy them based on our captain's skill and whether or not we even have this ability for our ships. And as we go through it, some of the other enemy ships might be gaining some of these as well. I mean, I don't see how we're going to have Cardassians and Vortas on our ship. That's not going to happen. We have science officers, helmsmen. We've got tactical officer. We've got another tactical officer. We've got operations officers, weapons officers, first officer. We've got reckless assault. This is going to be very Klingon-y. Evasive maneuvers. Glory to the Empire. When attacking or defending, discard this card to reroll all your dice. Roar. That's awesome. Super Klingon-y. Fight with honor. Fight with honor. That's fantastic. We have star strafing run. Interesting. All right, so we have different maneuvers. Eye for an eye. When defending, deal damage step. This ship suffers face-up damage card, and the attacking ship is in your primary firing arc. Discard this card and deal the attacking ship 1 face-up damage card, even if it has shields. Well, that's pretty good. I want a couple of those. Forward battery. That's pretty neat. When defending, declare a target step. The attacking ship is in your primary firing arc. You can roll 1 attack die or 1 hit or critical result, deal 1 damage to the attacking ship before it attacks. That's pretty good. All right, disruptor overcharge. We got some photon torpedoes, some torpedo full sods, covering fires, secondary relays, reactor venting, target arrays. I think you get the idea. There's a whole bunch of awesome stuff in here. That's the way this is going to work. I'm super pumped. So this box is going to include the Klingons. We'll see what Wave 3 does. I think Wave 3 is going to be bringing the Romulans into the fight, because during the Dominion War, these factions were all in this war. There were the Romulans, there were the Federation, there was the Klingons fighting against the Dominion, and also against the Cardassians, all joining forces together. So this is going to be super cool. So there you have it. That's the Star Trek Alliance game. Oh, if you didn't look at the ships, what are we doing? Oh, look at this one. Here's the Cardassian ships, way smaller than some of the other ones. But here's the Cardassian ships, the gold. That's pretty sweet. Then we have our 2 Klingon ships here. This one is the Vortas class. Look at this bird of prey. Look at the bird of prey. This thing, I've always loved the way these look. These look so cool, and I love being able to cloak. Oh, I'm super pumped. I almost want to try one of these right away. But we'll get to them. I am going to do a playthrough of the first mission from the first box so that you can understand and see how this game is played. And then moving forward in the future, Colin and I are going to dig into this and play. I am going to make him watch Deep Space Nine, though, before he plays this, so that he can know everything that kind of happened in the Dominion War, so he can really be as super excited as I am when it comes to seeing all the different stuff play out in the game. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing of Star Trek Alliance, the cooperative miniatures game, the Dominion War campaign. This is going to be super cool. I'm excited to come to it, and I'm excited to play it a ton once the 3rd one comes out. We're going to really dig into this and fight some Dominion. If you enjoyed the unboxing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when the actual playthrough comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. Have you played through the first part of this already? And have you played through the second part of this already? And are you excited for the 3rd part? Or is this completely new to you and you didn't even know this existed? Because that's kind of where I fell in. I feel so bad that I didn't even know this was out there. I would have gotten this on day 1 if I'd have known all this was there. If you're interested in supporting the channel, my Patreon link is also in the description of this video. The Patreon supporters that are already there are located on the screen. Thank you so much for all of your support. Some of the perks that you get through the Patreon is that you're able to watch the videos before I put them out without commercial interruptions. On top of that, I do some polls in there as well so that people can decide kind of where we should go with this. In this game, for example, maybe I'll have you help me level up my captains. I could have a poll for that. Or you could pick what ships I'm going to fly in this, which would be pretty sweet. It really gives a chance for the Patreon supporters to be able to have a say in how the games develop as we play through them. And on top of that, we also do some live painting and live plays with Colin from the One Stop Co-op Shop, so please check those out on the live tab of my channel. there you have it, Star Trek Alliance. If you're a Star Trek fan, and you love cooperative gaming, I don't see why you don't already own this. I'm just super sad I didn't even know about it until recently. So thank you again so much for watching. And if you're excited to see Star Trek Alliance or anything else, then I need you to meet me at the table.